Hello my friends and welcome to episode 64 of the longest running series on my channel, The Wanderer. We're back with Heart, and since the last episode we've had a bit of a strange time of it. So having conceded 5 goals in the previous 12 games, we lost 5-2 to Hamilton. Out of nowhere, shocking performance, and even needed an own goal to get a second goal as a consolation. Absolutely shocking. Never in this game, particularly in the first half, but we were up early, we were confident, and things just went things went Pete Dong, to put it nicely. We then got back to winning ways, a 4-1 victory over struggling Dundee United before a 6-3 victory in the Scottish Cup 5th round against their rivals Dundee. Orenk with a brace, Hedges, Gordo with a brace, and Grant Young on the score sheet in a rotated side. We then played at Johnson at 1-1-0. It was a shaky game in terms of we didn't play well, particularly in the first half. Second half we played much better, but we'd already got that 1-0 lead. We did play Danny Rogers because I forgot to switch the goalkeepers back round. It's a problem of having very set teams normally. I changed every other player round and forgot to check the goalkeeper. Today we've got a double header, a league and cup double header against Rangers. League is looking very, very interesting. Rangers at a point behind us, Aberdeen 4 behind us. Celtic drew to Hamilton in their last game. If I go back here, 0-0. As a result, they've fallen a bit off the pace again. They actually hired Aberdeen manager John Daly, and he went ham on transfer deadline day, signing Greg Docherty and Jonathan Lecco for a combined £16 million, rising potentially over 22 million. Did sell a couple of players out, loaned out a couple of players in that day as well, but some very, very interesting business here done by the Irishman coming from Aberdeen. Aberdeen, no, they are a very, very good side, and they replaced him with former Hibs manager Malky Mackay. Has he brought in Davy Weir with him, I wonder? Milestones 2023, I think he did bring Davy Weir in with him, so that's very interesting. Quickly to go over our staff changes. So there's a few bits done here. I said I was going to do it, but we'll start with the loans out. We've got nothing coming in. So Abramovich went out on loan. He has a loan fee of 8.5k per month if they use him. That does increase if they do not, to 40k. So far he's played 3 games with 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 player of the match, and a 7.1 free rating in the Spanish First Division. Needed to get him game time in honesty, and hopefully he will develop with that. Billy Bowman on loan at Bora. I didn't really want to loan him out. I wanted to give him a bit more time in our youth team, but the reality was he wasn't developing in our youth team the way other players were. So I thought, let's give him a loan and see how it works out for him. He so far has played 4 games, 1 assist, with a 6.85 in League 2, which is above where my staff are recommending him to play. And Zach Rudden, again another player I felt needed to go out on loan, get some game time. He's gone to Dundee for 26k if he plays, 52k if he doesn't. Happy to do that, they're paying all his wages. With a key player status, since going to Dundee he's played 4, 1 assist, 6.68, not the best return for him. Particularly when he scored a hat-trick in the Champions League for us not that long ago. But there's other young players I might be looking to sell him in the summer or play him out wide. He can play this inside forward role fairly well. Composure is maybe the only issue, as well as passing, but that might be the option in the future going forward. Gordo, the only player we brought in. Staff wise, however, there was a lot of changes. So I can't remember who all went over in the last episode, but I believe I went through Neil Sullivan, Chris Neville, Mike Pollett, Anthony Scully I definitely didn't. So Anthony Scully comes in as a coach. I think he's in a, can't remember what he's doing, but we'll go through it all. Jason Brown comes in as a goalkeeper coach, replacing Taniski. I think he might actually be an attacking coach, Scully, going by Andy Kirk being the first to leave. Lewis Craig comes in as our assistant manager. What an upgrade he is on Carhan. Carhan was a very decent one. I signed him sort of moneyballed my assistant manager, basically picked a couple of stats that I wanted and went for them. Lewis Craig comes in better at tactical, better at defending if we need that, better judging player potential. Tactical knowledge not quite as good, and his tactical mindset isn't quite as good. But he's a very, very good started assistant manager. It was initially for a coaching deal, which I quickly changed when I realised that I couldn't have any more coaches. Bradley Wright Phillips comes in as a shooting coach, and Derek Langley is our new chief scout, replacing Peter Johnston, who was retiring at the end of the season anyway. And when I looked at scouts, he was the best, basically, and it was obvious where he was going to go. So that leaves us staff-wise well above average in the league, and training coaches, we are 4-star everywhere apart from attacking and shooting, where I didn't improve either. Attacking I couldn't get any better, and shooting, Bradley obviously not quite good enough to get that 4-star. Lewis Craig up to 5.5 star in tactics, which was our weakest area previously. 4-star everywhere else. Great stuff for a Scottish club, particularly when we have excellent training facilities, if I remember correctly. 4.5 star training facilities, so we can upgrade that a little bit at the end of the season maybe. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it means that we're hopefully getting the best out of these coaches. Anyway, we're going to get on with this double header. I've rambled on for 6 minutes again, and we might even, if my dates are correct, have a youth development report during this as well. So in this game between two teams separated by a point, I've gone full strength, or as full strength as I could get. Ryan Hedges misses through injury, and Grant Young through suspension, so McTominay and Caviglia are in. Other than that, full strength across the board. It's going to be an interesting one. Hopefully we're having pretty much the same team next week, just maybe slightly stronger, and hopefully we can get 2 wins out of 2. So I want to see a good performance. We've got absolutely no greens there, so no comment on that. No comment on that. No comment on that. Hopefully we can get a win here and progress to the Scottish Cup semi-final. It'll be the first I've progressed in the Scottish Cup. Obviously last year we had much tougher draws to get here. We had Rangers in the first round that we played, and then we had Hibs in the first round, and then Rangers. So 2 very tough games last season. This year we've had it a bit easier with Stirling, and then Dundee not offering quite the same competition as Hibs and Rangers offer, although still a very good team. Did also try and sign, oh that's god awful from us defensively, all over the shops there as Pot scores. Did also try and sign Dapple Mabudi on deadline day from Rangers. Only way they were really going to negotiate a deal was if they were able to sign a replacement first. It was deadline day, so I was not acknowledging that. Felt like he could all come in and take that left winger spot for himself, allow us to sell Jamie Walker in the summer. Unfortunately, we did get a deal accepted. I think it was worth 26 million after all the add-ons, so I'm maybe a little bit glad that it fell through. He wanted more wages than what my scouts anticipated he did, as Karen goes past his man, and that's an own goal from Patev. We're choking here, boys. Need to demand a bit more. This is not good. We really haven't shown up yet in this game. 1 shot, 1 on target, to their 6 and 1 on target. We're 2-0 down obviously through an own goal. It's not ideal. But yeah, so I tried to sign my booty. It was 26 million was the deal. Pretty glad it fell through when the wages my scout suggested were not what he actually wanted. Do have a bid in for another player, or trying to get another big name player. I'm not going to go into who that is, but what I can tell you just now is he's a top 4 Premiership player. Right now it says he's not interested, but he is interested in coming to Scotland with both the Old Firm clubs, so I'm kind of hoping that we can nick that deal. So I'm going to go with show me something else in the second half, because this is absolutely appalling right now. We did sort of play ourselves in at the end of the first half there, going by the stats, but it's not been good enough. Patev wins that in the air, but it's going to fall for Cadden, to Bakuna, Potts, into Chris Cadden. Woodman saves this one. Try to even think of tactical changes I can do in this game. Only got Baronis, Walker and Gordo on the bench. It's really going to be able to change anything. Federoon might be able to change something. Caviglia maybe for Walker. That work? Try Walker out on that right hand side. He did play it a couple of times in the first or second season for us, so hopefully can come on in that position and do okay. He's just returned from another knock himself, and we're going to bring on Gordo for Cochrane, who's not had the best of games either. And the last sub we will make is I'm going to bring Tavernier on for Finlayson and play him as an inverted wing back on support on that side. See if we can get ourselves back into this game. But right now Rangers are going top of the league. I mean, I would take not winning the league this year for the Scottish Cup, if I'm honest, as long as we are still in second place, because I want Champions League next season. A lot of our sponsorship deals are up at the end of this year and are all very, very poor. Z Gomez gets a rebound there to get us back in this game, 2-1. All our sponsorship deals are absolutely awful, talking 13,000-14,000. So I'm kind of hoping that if we get Champions League football, we get big improvement there. Not opposition instructions, not what I want. So what I want to do now is overload, exploit the middle, stop playing out of defence, look for the overlap, work the ball into the box, no, take more risks please. And we're going fairly narrow, because we are going to put you here as a defensive forward on support, and you here as a false 9 on support. We'll bring you back, and we'll bring you back just to offer that bit extra defensive support as well while we're on this overload. And then the last thing that you need to do for this to sometimes work, hit push forward. Hopefully we'll see a few chances. It's not looking like it just now. It looks like it's going to play it out. Maybe get one last chance here. It's a poor throw in though. Potts, score of the opener to Bakuna. Taylor, another player who I looked at signing, has developed extremely well again this year on my Football Manager save, but we're going to lose this game 2-1. Unfortunately, that poor start just too much for us to handle. We're going to jump straight into the next game now. We're back in the cup game. I believe we are in the youth intake window, so I'm going to put that in the end of this episode and we're going to go through it, but it's not came up yet. However, we've gone with pretty much the same team. Rogers in and Tavernier in. Tavernier in because Tavetinov got injured yesterday. Rogers in because he gets the cup games. Other than that, Federum's got a knock. He's on the bench, picked up a knock in training at the same time as Tavetinov. So hopefully we can get a result. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. We've won 3 of our last 5. That didn't work. And Rangers are pretty much the same team. I think Chris Carron's out, but other than that, I don't really know who they brought in for him. Hopefully we can get a good game here. Hopefully we can get to the semi-final. We've got good players out there, so I have faith in the team. Should have brought Grant Young back in, and I think he might be suspended anyway, still for the cup, so maybe that doesn't matter. Forgot to check that. That's my mistake. But we've got a corner kick here. Jokic whips in, not in his usual fashion. Smith picks up, across to McTominay, into Cochrane now. Mabury's nicked it off him, and oh, it's a crunching tackle from McTominay to get back. Finlayson picks up to Tavernier, back to Jokic. Cochrane over for Callum Smith. Has he got a pass in him? He finds Finlayson. Need him to make a pass. He finds Jokic. Smith now stuck in this corner a little bit. We do switch it eventually, but Taylor's there. Intercepts only as far as McTominay. Back to Caviglia. He's got Tavernier in overlap, but he's going to run into him. Instead, he finds a good cross, and it's Z Gomez, our big man, Portuguese international. 18 goals in 32 games rather for him, and that'll be number 19 in 33 now, putting us in the driving seat for that semi-final place is what I'm trying to say. But I blanked as Tavernier had that free kick that went just over the bar. We've got some good players in this team, and I've got confidence that we can see out. We did win at Ibrox. They've won both the games at Tynecastle, whereas we've won the games at Ibrox, if I remember correctly, and they won the Betfred Cup, but I believe that was at Hampden. So they've won the games that haven't been at Ibrox, whereas we've won at Ibrox this season. Caviglia picks up. He's got Tavernier in front of him, and he does find James Tavernier. It's a decent ball in, and it's Callum Smith at the back post, rising above his man to win that header and put it home to put us 2-0 in front at Ibrox. We're now 1 foot in that semi-final. Celtic are still in. They got through against Hamilton on penalties. in the replay of, not the last round, but the round before that, sorry, the last round rather, and then he absolutely gave Dundee United a hammering in the last game. So they're still in as our sort of big threat, if you like. Morton and Queen of the South in as well, and I'm not sure who else are in. So I'm going to go with a stay focused kind of team talk here. And we've got a lot of green for that this time. So Potts kicks off. Well, Potts didn't kick off, but he's got the ball and he gave it to Mabudi. Played forward, but John Suter steps in nicely there. Gary Finlay's in on the ball now. This team is starting to develop nicely. You know, we've got a lot of young players, but it is starting to develop really nicely, and I'm hoping that these players all develop into top class talent. Z Gomez now worth £9 million in the SPL. That's absolutely sensational. I still wouldn't sell him for less than 40, although there's a number of players that I'm looking at signing. There was another lad that I was looking at signing, a young striker. Not that we need any more young strikers really. We've got 2 in our first team, and we've got 1 in our youth team, developing really well. However, this guy looked absolutely sensational. A bid went in for him for 450k, rising to 675k I think, and I was like, right, I'm going to go and match that bid. But on the same day that the deal was offered, he'd signed the contract within an hour. The deal had gone from bid to confirmed. Frustrating, and he does have a 2 million release clause at his new club, but they're not going to accept anything less than that, as you can understand. Straight away, make some changes now. I'm going to bring on Gordo for Cochrane, get him some game time. He's really developing nicely. I'm excited to see him developing, and let's get him on the park basically, and rest Cochrane a little bit. And we're going to bring Walker on for Smith. I like Walker out on that left hand side. It's what I think is at his strongest. And we need to make one last change. We're going to bring on Baronis for McTominay, move Baronis and Jokic around, and give Jamie Baronis some game time. That's a poor pass there. Not sure who that was from. I didn't quite catch the angle of it, but it's coming to Kalakai. Great save from Danny Rogers, showing that he could step up if we were to lose Freddie Woodman. Hoping that we don't. There's not any interest in him at present, and we did turn down a laughable bid in honesty, from Stoke in January, and they withdrew their interest straight away when I said I want 30 million from him. Probably have accepted 16 or something, but 4 million, no chance. And I responded with just an unrealistic counter offer to basically say I'm not going to accept an offer anywhere near that. Think again. So they withdrew their interest, and there's been no interest since, and he's obviously signed that new contract. Tavernier with the free kick, it's poor. Comes out, he picks up again, plays it back to Patev, and back to the Englishman Tavernier. Jokic to Baronis, into Z Gomez. Oh, the tackle's a great one, but it's into Caviglia, and it's in the back of the net. It's 3-0. We are in the semi-final, boys. We might finally win a Scottish Cup. Not just a Scottish Cup, but we might finally win a cup. We're into the semi-final. That's happy days for me. As we haven't won a cup yet, and we've not even really been close, but this will be the closest we've been. I think we've had 2 semi-finals this year, and I don't think we'd even had a semi-final before this year with any of our clubs in any cup competition. So it's nice. We did win that very well there, and in honesty, why didn't we play like that last week? Got Hibs coming up next. Celtic have dropped more points in the league. Do we have our draw? When is that? Be here. It's not giving me a draw date, so I'm probably not going to give you the draw today. But I do believe that the youth intake should be this episode, so I'll bring you back for that in just a second. I do apologise, guys. We do have the draw today, so we've got Celtic, Hearts, ourselves, of course, Motherwell, Greenock, Morton, and 2 other teams. Who are the 2 other teams? Queen of the South or Morton, Motherwell or St Mirren. So let's just dodge Celtic, please. Motherwell or St Mirren. So a weak Premiership team or a strong Championship team, basically, and Celtic guaranteed Championship. So I'm expecting a Hearts Celtic final. We've finally got to our youth intake, and between the last game and now, we did play Hibs. We beat them 1-0, an absolute thunderbolt from Jokic, winning us that game. Now I haven't looked at our youth intake, so let's go have a look. The only other thing I'm going to mention is a promoted Brandon Canning, 16-year-old, developing really well, but I promoted him to the first team. Picked up a lot of injury, which is why there's some regression on his physicals, but not really that he's going to get any first team game time. He's not quite good enough. I might give him a couple of games in the closing of the season if things are wrapped up, but it's more just to get him training with the first team. He's still playing with the youths. So youth intake, so Liam Anderson, 2.5 star, debatable goalkeeper, probably not going to be good enough. Callum Muirhead, half a star, not going to be good enough. Stephen Ogville, another striker that looks fairly decent, unambitious personality, might be an issue, but we'll give him a contract, see how he gets on. Anthony Clark, 1.5 star, left wing back, 5 tackling, determination and work rate are okay. You know, he might make something. As a wing back, I'm actually going to give him a shot and see how he gets on. Calvin Armstrong, 3-star centre back. Getting 3 stars, maybe not going to get into your first team, but you can develop him into something, hopefully, and sell him on, or have a decent backup. Kevin Martin, the one that's been highlighted, 5-star potential, another striker. Determination, work rate, unambitious, flair's pretty low. All worrying things, but he's 15, he's 5-star potential. We're going to give him a go. Can we actually get him tutoring straight away as well? Reports development, no we can't, so I'll do that as it comes through. Boyle, 2-star defender, not going to do anything with him. Robbie Orr, 2-star left back, again, don't think he's going to make anything, but he might make a solid backup at some point, so we'll give him a contract. Same with Peter Miller here. Determination, work rate a bit low, plus unambitious. I'm actually just wanting to have a look at Warren Green. What's your balanced personality? Why is everyone unambitious? Fairly sporting here, 1/2 star though. We're not going to go anywhere near him. 2-star here. Central midfielder, not going to be good enough. Okay, Callisman, 2.5 star, maybe. Left mid, left only though. I'm going to ignore him. Brian Wright, right hand side. 16 aggression is literally the only good thing about that. Charlie O'Brien, professional. Why can't we get the professionals on the decent youth prospects? Free crossing, left footed winger, not getting anywhere near. Charlie O'Brien is the one we just looked at. He is indeed. Darren O'Hara, 2.5 star, attacking midfielder, light-hearted personality. We can work on that. We're going to give him a shot. And that leaves John Layton from Paisley, and we're just going to ignore him as well. So guys, that sums up the youth development. It's the first time we've done it in this series. When do we come back? I guess we're going to come back for the Scottish Cup semi-final. It's a logical time to bring you in. It's going to be just before the top 6 split. All the league games until then are pretty much going to be irrelevant, apart from the Aberdeen one. I think the Motherwell game is a much better choice, so we're going to go with that. So if you like this episode, hit like, hit subscribe, and I will hopefully catch you all for the Motherwell game in the next episode.